Hello, it's me, Josh Hunter. I'm here in Santa Monica, California, and I'm just winging it. I came up with an idea the other day, and I just wanted to make sure that I don't know, because people nowadays are. Okay, here's what happened. I was I was on Wilshire, across the street from P.F. Chang's, and I was looking at the sign P.F. Chang's, and I thought, like, what if like some future civilization, like some like archaeologists or something, like found this sign, but the English language had been completely like forgotten, and they were trying to figure out like what this means. That they just found something that said P.F. Chang's, and I was trying to figure out like what like. Imagine like there was some archaeologist who tried really, really, really hard to try and like figure out what it meant. Like, is it some like, code for some like, great spiritual truth, or maybe a key to a lost treasure or something? And I tried to imagine like how fucking disappointed they would be if they just like found out it was just like a chain of like restaurants. Like how. Like a guy spent his whole life like trying to figure this thing out, and then it turned out to be just like something very common, and like how disappointing that would be. It is not my intent here to encourage disappointment or even to like glorify disappointment, but I just anyway. But even so, I think there are some things. I mean, I think there would have been some type of clue telling him like, hey, don't fucking investigate this P.F. Change thing. We'll just let it go. And so I thought to myself, if we want to protect, there are other ways we can protect our culture, because now we're living in this age where everything's recorded, there's cameras everywhere, there's no, like previous cultures, they had something to protect them, something that people like would never be able to figure out, because they have all these, just things were a little darker, I guess, so you didn't. So I came up with this game. Well, it's not a game, but like you can call it a game. I wouldn't call it a game. But it's called Fool the Archaeologists of the Future. And it's something that I'll do sometimes. Damn it. All right, come on, focus. All right. So what I'll do sometimes, like, alright, as you know, I have a lot of time, and I've been like, I felt like a person who's been being watched since 1997. So I'm always like wary. I'm always like, who's watching this? Who's looking at this? And so sometimes what I'll do is I'll just put like fake things in my world. Like I'll write something that is completely untrue. And so what I did was I wrote. Double win. Anyway, I do this all the time. Like I'll put things in, and I'll have like fake thoughts too. Like not all the time, but sometimes I'll just think things that I would never like. That I just, because you never know like who's. I call it an interdimensional defense technique. Okay, because sometimes you want to defend yourself because. In the future, they may have a greater fluidity, so they may have like greater access to this realm than we do. Like we may be made of a more dense material, and so we're like clunk, 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 and they're like, oh, they can move here and there. They may like be faster than us too. So if you want to like stand up against these guys, like if they invent like time travel or are able to travel like through dimensions. Okay, these guys, they may not have a sense of cultures. I'm talking about like the guy who's like studying P.F. Chang's, like the written word of P.F. Chang's for like 20 fucking years, only to find, this is the type of guy, because anyone who's studying that type of thing for 20 years looking for something that ain't there, they need to, they need to pay attention to their own business. So anyway, so what I'll do is I'll sometimes write like fake letters, and alright, I wrote this thing. It wasn't a fake letter, but I was trying to, okay, it wasn't entirely fake. I mean, alright, I realized that I might, like, because I'm very concerned about my health, and so I was thinking, I want to make sure that I maintain like good like mental health. But sometimes like I go off on these type of like investigations, and sometimes they're it's just nice to have like a spotter, someone who's gonna know like when you're not, when you're like lifting something that's too heavy or something. So I wrote this letter, or I wrote this description of like what I wanted, but I put the date, like I used like unusual terminology, and I dated it as, or I wrote the date as like February 14th, 2199. And I just put it on there, and I just like wrote this thing, and because I don't know who could be tracking me. Could be anything. Like there could be like fucking archaeologists like fucking tracking me right now, and I want to make sure I fucking put these guys off on the wrong scent. And so I know archaeologists, and like they feel they have a right to know what happened. I say they only have a right to know what directly affects their life. And if things happen that don't affect their life, then they should, mind their own business, is what I'm saying. So, I've been doing this for years. I have made a lot of fake documents, a lot of things that, it is kind of, it's not like, I will sometimes, like, just, I'll go on and on, I'll say, man, this is so important. Like, I'll say, this is so important to me. And it's not necessarily a lie, because while it's happened, well, alright, well, it's not, okay, what is, this is a part of my social hypocrisy. I don't know, I've said it in at least 2 videos. I mentioned that I can be a social hypocrite. And when I am being a social hypocrite, this is why, or one of the reasons anyway. I need to be able to fool the future. Fool the future. FTF. Yeah, FTF, 2099. No, FTF. Called the game, alright. Fool the archaeologists of the future. Fool the future. Fool the future. I like it. I think there's something we can do with that. I don't know. Alright, sorry. Alright, moving a little fast, I think. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up just in case, like, you were... Oh, also, like, I know sometimes, because, like, alright, yesterday I know sometimes when people are on, like, really, like, a hard drug... Oh, shit, what the fuck? Oh, god damn, it's just a flower. Okay. Well, it came so fast, I thought it was like a fucking, it was... Alright. Sometimes when people are, like, having, like, really, like, terrible, like, drug trips, like, on, like, hallucinogenic and psychotropic stuff, like, sometimes you can feel like you're not real, and sometimes... I've had this feeling, but sometimes it was hard to identify it. And I was watching this SNL sketch from like the 70s with Dan Aykroyd, and I remember like he was the character that he was saying, I don't remember what the joke was, but I remember him saying like, just remember, you are like a biological living being here on the planet Earth. You're just having a bad trip, that type of thing. It was so comforting because like that's exactly what you need to hear, because sometimes you feel like you're like a robot, or you're that's what I have gone through, but usually I'm aware. Like I never go into any situation where I have used like narcotics without being fully aware, like okay, I set the tone before I even do this or that. I don't like to fly too far. Anyway, so I just thought I'd like to let you know. So if you're having like a bad trip and I want you to just remember the words that you are a living biological creature here on the planet Earth, and that you are alive. Because sometimes when you're doing those drugs, they're trying to tell you that you're dead, and that's like the scary thing. Like that's the thing that like when you're having a bad trip, it's like tries to like dredge up all your fears. And so I want to make sure to remind you that you are alive. And there's no reason to be afraid. There's no reason to fucking get all wild, because just you can come back if you got there. Then you can come back. Is what I'm saying. I don't know if this is true for everybody, but if you really love your life, if you're really grateful, then that's why I think it's very important to be grateful. Because when you are truly grateful, you can't. No one can ever steal anything from you. If you are a grateful person, the truest, the purest, the the highest form of gratitude means that you have that thing no matter what. Like if someone takes something from you, if you feel like you lost a relationship or objects or anything that's of any real importance to you, if you are truly grateful for it, you can't really ever lose it, because that's what gratitude is. Gratitude isn't, you're not just thankful for having it, you're thankful that it exists. You're thankful that you even know that it exists. That's what real gratitude is. And so that's why when you see like people who are really grateful, I mean, it doesn't matter like when certain things happen or whatever, because they've got the blueprints for the thing pretty much. I mean, when you're super grateful, you got the blueprints to the thing, so you can't really ever lose it. So, all right. Been a pretty good. It's been a pretty good day. I'm making real progress. I think. I'm not like. I guess that's it. I guess the day's over. All right. Well, thank you for watching this video, and if you would like to encourage my general good health and well-being, I would gladly appreciate it. You don't have to say a prayer for me. In fact, you can even be really quiet and not say anything. But I would be really grateful and glad if you would. No, I'm not asking anyone to do this. But if you're like, oh, I want to fucking just just enjoy the idea of me being a sane and healthy person. You don't have to pray. Just enjoy the idea of it. It's like, oh, fucking Josh, he's all healthy and shit, and I like it. All right. Thanks for watching.